with that, we are transitioning to our next session, AI optimized workflows for sales. Anis, welcome. How are
Thank you.
you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Julia?
Amazing. Not too festive here. How's the holiday season?
Busy, right? End of the year. You were still working and grinding until the last days of the month, but we were all having fun, so that's great.
Cool. Let's just jump into your method demo and then make it a little more interactive.
Absolutely. It might make sense, for those who don't know us, for me to, introduce myself and introduce what attention does and who we are. And then I would love to kind of, talk about a few things. The first one is how do you make sure you get uh perfectly clean CRM data, a perfect understanding of what's happening around your customer base, but then also how you can increase conversion rates and sales overall leveraging AI. Um, so about myself, been a founder for over a decade, started a company before that I sold a little over 3 years ago, then founded Attention with the goal of solving all the challenges that I used to experience growing a sales team at my last startup. So, started Attention in September 2021, a little over 3 years ago now. And we really started out with a very simple pain, which is how do we automate filling your CRM, Salesforce, HubSpot, whichever CRM you're using, with data out of your calls, right? That was something where we were really kind of the first company to even think about it and do it. And and then over time, that what we realized was, it's not just calls. You have to also capture emails. You have to capture all the different data sources. And then you can start automating a lot of workflows, right? Not just to the CRM and not just uh, to text fields, but also fill out, drop downs, pick lists, and all sorts of things that you really care about. So, about our business today, we work with around 200 companies of all sizes, going from very fast-growing startups to, large mid-market enterprise firms like Bamboo HR, Aircall, Crunchbase, and so on. Um, yeah. So today, I think, a lot of you're seeing millions of note takers, right? You're seeing bots everywhere in conversations. And a lot of people, I think, don't really understand the gold mine that's behind conversational data. So really, it's not just about capturing a summary. It's about capturing, all sorts of signals from these conversations across multiple conversations to really understand the health of a customer if you're into the customer success, or the health of an opportunity if you're in sales. I'll take a quick break here. Is there any questions or anything?
I received a bunch of questions, but I think we'll address them in the end.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, what I'll do here in a second is, go into attention and do give you a demo, right? I think that so if you give me a quick second, I will try to get something into my screen, and then from there, let me do something. Yeah, so there's a few things. I'll start with a very simple use case, which is how do you even fill the CRM, right? How do you capture data? And a lot of people today are thinking, how do we, I have my own custom methodology. How do I get everything from that methodology to really match what I need as an output? So I'll start with a simple conversation, and then we'll go into how you can fully understand a deal. So give me a quick second. I will take the deal that um all right. So here I'm seeing something, right? Okay, great. So this is a very simple view of a conversation that one of our reps has had, right? Oh, wait, can you see my screen? Yeah, okay, great. Wait, you can see it says call with Connor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So a lot of companies will use, Medic or Spice or, even their own custom fields to capture in their CRM to capture data around a specific call, a specific deal, and so on. And where really summaries kind of fail is that they can miss some really important data around what is happening behind your deal. So, and you can't really count on your reps to do that properly. So what attention will do here is we'll be able to capture all of your specific fields, right? It could be medic, it could be spice, it could be any field that you want. And from there, have the ability to exactly tell you everything around your prospect, right? So what you can see here is, for instance, for metrics, we know exactly what is the goal of this product, what is happening there, who is the economic buyer, what does their decision process look like. But also, we can map it to other specific fields, like, what is the use case that they need out of attention, right? And we have different elements there. We created specific custom fields such as what is the business outcome, why do anything, and so on. And so you need to be able to capture that, go straight into your CRM. So that's really the simplest thing that we started with. And over time, we realized that it wasn't enough, right? We need to understand also things such as rep adoption to our framework and how they can be coached. So that really jumps us into uh, building scorecards, right? We've been the first company to start with AI-enabled scorecards around your coaching methodology. We released that exactly a year ago today, and we've been iterating quite a bit and built a lot of agentic RAG around this to deeply understand, based on your success from stemming from your closed ones in your CRM, how we can keep improving the uh, the thinking behind each scorecard to make it very simple, right? So, for instance, here, our rep gets scored. It will give them feedback around what they did great, but also what they could have done better, and then you get a specific score around each element that you want to score for. So now that you get all of this intelligence, we can really route it everywhere, going from your CRM to also creating reports in Notion or Google Docs, updating your sales enablement content base, or also creating all sorts of alerts and reports for your leadership, right? It can go straight in Slack, it could be automated emails, and so on. Um, so this is around, so how do we make sure that we capture the voice of the customer? How do we also make sure that our reps are adopting our frameworks, right? Now, I want to move to another piece, right? Which is, I would like to understand now, as a business, how are our reps, how are our deals going, right? So I will share my screen with you again now. Can you see my new screen? I changed all the names in this view so that you don't see anything. But this is a view for each specific client within, let's say, our close loss, right? You get all the specific scores around each deal, but also more importantly, you could see here that we created our own custom methodology around understanding the health of a deal, right? Do they have do they have a a complex CRM? Because if they do, we're going to be great at winning the deal. Is there any solution in place? Um, do they have an appetite for coaching, right? A lot of different things here that are really specific to your business. And again, we're the only ones able to do this today, which is really customizing the understanding of your deal based on what matters to your business rather than, a bland medic or spiced that really applies for everyone, but fails to capture what is really specific again to your business. Um, so not only that, but also we can get all sorts of elements, right, around the around what is happening for specific deals, right? So if you go in here, I don't can you see the text box that came out? Yeah.
Yep.
So right there, it will say why this is an alert. The company, the prospects organization has implemented winning by design, so Spice, so they're really actually interested in coaching. However, things are inconsistent. There are a few things that we should pay attention to. And so, they haven't been paying as much attention to coaching, and this is actually an area where we can even perhaps help them, right? All right. So now that you can have a view out of your deals and intelligent elements around your deals, the next thing is how can you have an understanding across all of your customer base, right? So again, we've been spending the past 18 months building with proprietary models. The ability to provide thousands of conversations at once and giving you exactly what you need to know around all of your customers, slice and dice however you want them. So this is what we call our generalized insights, which is I can go in, think of it as your own internal chat GPT, right? But specifically for sales and specifically around your calls and emails. And so, I can ask it, what are the biggest bottlenecks of closing our deals? And then it will calculate it over hundreds of conversations and give you and rank the answers to your questions by by frequency and give you within those conversations, all the different conversations where these things are getting mentioned. I don't want to go and click here because it will show some client data, but it will definitely give you all the different elements around what your clients are saying around the pricing and budget considerations, right? And so you can go in there and do, even your PMMs, product team, marketing team can now know what are the most requested features, what are the most common pain points, what are the most requested use cases around your business. And you can break it by types of calls, right? I could analyze it around closing calls or demos or discovery calls, or I can also just analyze it across, calls with RevOps leaders versus CROs, or calls with mid-market versus enterprise companies and so on. And so that really gives you that granular understanding of your customers. And that really replaces at the end of the day the work of a junior analyst over weeks of work within a few minutes, right? So I'll take a quick break here. Any questions, Julia?
Yeah, some immediate questions and some pre-submitted. You've got the most questions compared to all of the sessions, so
Amazing.
let's split. The first one is attention essentially like Fathom on steroids.
Uh I think that, Fathom is a great tool. They call recording is a commodity today. I think that what we like to describe ourselves as is an intelligence and orchestration layer specifically for sales. I think Fathom could be great for all sorts of teams, product teams, marketing teams, small businesses, and so on. I think where if you really need something for your sales and customer success team, um, this is where attention comes in and not only captures the data from your calls, but also emails and really orchestrates that to the places that you need to send the data to.
Second question, how does the AI identify high intent prospects?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you you start with something, the rubrics that I showed you earlier, right? In our case, could be semantic plus, let's say, appetite for coaching, CRM complexity, and so on. And then from there, out of all your different touch points, you can capture all the warnings and understand from there a how serious a prospect is, but also be, as we get more and more data and capture the closed ones from your CRM, then we can keep improving and suggesting new rubrics to your team so that you can better understand not only how serious a prospect is, but also um, your chances of closing that prospect.
Anna is asking, could you integrate also the conversations from LinkedIn?
Oh, that's a great question. Not yet, but we've been definitely thinking about it. Since we've been able to do emails, we've been looking into ways to capture the data from LinkedIn conversations and kind of like treating it as almost very similar to an email.
How do these workflows help sales teams qualify leads and prioritize prospects?
Yes, I think it's very the answer will be the same to, the intent prospect question, which is now that you can understand, I was showing the leads, the opportunity scoring earlier, right? So based on that opportunity score, now you know where not only how to prioritize prospects, but also on some of the other ones, the things that you should try to solve for before it's too late.
What makes Attention's AI tools great for real time coaching and automation?
I think I've showed it to you, right?
What's unique about Attention and how has it helped other teams?
Yeah, I think that we're we're honestly the only ones who are doing what we say we do. Actually, a lot of the things I showed you, we're not even advertising them on our website today. Um, and we've really seen a lot of players in the space, maybe it's just completely random, but try, copy certain features. And I've seen even friends in the past who now say, hey, we actually took this feature that you built since we saw the success and we're starting to sell it. Anyway, the point is that we really do what we say we do. We have iterated so much to get it to a point where it works really well. And I think by the time a lot of other players get something at least as close as what I've showed you, by then we'll be far, far, far ahead, right? So I would say, we have an incredible team, that I'm so grateful for, that is building extremely fast. As founders, we're extremely close to our clients, so we really understand, what's keeping them up at night, and we really build for them, but also with the intention of building for all of our ICP, right? So yeah, our product works. It works great. And it really does what it says it does.
Love that. Can AI prospecting be used with existing clients to generate repeat business or expand business in the organization without
Sorry, could
seeming
you
like,
repeat that? Could you repeat
yeah,
that?
it's a loaded one. So,
Yeah.
can AI prospecting be used with existing clients to generate repeat business or expand business in the organization without seeming like a robot or disconnected and damaging the relationship?
Yeah. Um, so is the question basically how do we take our existing clients to understand better our ICP, or is it reaching out, or is it for from an
Upselling.
upselling? Yeah. Give me a second to think about that. So I think that when you're talking to your existing customer base, you do want to capture the signals. You do want to capture the churn risk. You do want to capture obviously, the positives and the opportunity to upsell. That being said, in my opinion, you should not automate the outreach there, right? You should get that information straight into your CRM, your CSM, sorry, so that they can go in and make informed decisions and when they're reaching out to the client, right? Because it's not like a BDR going in and cold emailing someone. You're actually at that point, you already have that business relationship. So you do want to just get the right data in place and ask informed questions to your clients, and you know that they're going to answer to you, right? Most likely. So that's kind of like how I would think about it.
Tricks and hacks. What prompts will generate high quality leads on these?
Okay, so that's for top of funnel. Um, I have a very contrarian view here. I think that you should not start with AI and automation when you're cold emailing people. As a matter of fact, you should do everything very manually and very intentional. And then you should see where you're getting success and start automating that, right? So that's kind of like the overall thinking that we have over here at Attention for our cold outbound. That being said, if I were to get a little more into details, what you want to do is break down your TAM, right? You get your list of top 100 or top 1000 clients where you're extremely intentional and you're doing things in a very manual way. And then you probably have the long tail of other businesses where you could perhaps, automate things a lot more, um, and be a little less intentional about things. So for prompts, I would say what I really liked, for example, in the past was when I see someone in the industry speak in a podcast, capture that podcast, create a workflow where we capture the podcast recording, tie that recording to the value prop of our business, and then generate a prompt around, hey, given what you know about our business, given what this person is saying, find the best hook and put it as, the opener of a cold email, right? And you do that a few days after the podcast comes out, and that tends to work out pretty well.
Super cool. How does attention use, store, and protect my client's data?
Yeah, 100%. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, GDPR compliant, in Europe. We have ISO as well. So all those certifications just mean at the end of the day that we're extremely careful with the data of our clients. Um, we can host it in Europe or certain other regions if needed. We all of our team uses MFA. We have, least privilege um, access to the data. Everything is logged and monitored. There's a lot of different rules that just we are following. We use a compliance platform to track all of this and to make sure that we're always, over 95% compliance at all times.
Are you Salesforce compatible? Have you worked with any commercial real estate teams?
We're definitely Salesforce compatible. Um, Commercial real estate teams, we're getting to a point where I don't know our clients. I do think that for commercial real estate, typically it's in person. So it gets a little difficult for us, you know, to we do have a recording app for in-person meetings, but you know, that's not our bread and butter. And typically more used for our clients who have 80% plus of their calls via Zoom or VoIP, or and then still want to have an app to record in person, right? So when it comes to commercial real estate, if you know the majority of your meetings are in person, it gets a little difficult for us to optimize the experience for you using using that mobile app.
Are recipients listening, wanting, and recording to outreach? Many have too many emails, etc. So are they giving any outreach any attention?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I think they're asking whether email as a channel is centrally effective.
Mhm. Oh, for cold outbound?
Yeah,
Okay, my take on this is that it's free impressions, right? So there is no reason why you shouldn't do it. Just make sure that you're not using your primary domain, right? In our case, attention.com. We're not going to use that for cold outbound. Um, but why not, right? It's extremely cheap. You obviously have to buy domain names and buy the tools and so on. But at the end of the day, it is free impressions. People may not respond immediately, but they'll see you, they'll see your name, they'll see your email, and maybe they could remember you when the time is right. So there's no reason why you should not do cold email. Even if LinkedIn, you know, cold LinkedIn might work better, don't you know, don't skip on cold emailing because it's still a great way to get leads.
the questions keep coming. We are about to transition to Clay, but
I
Anise.
love play.
So
Yeah.
here's one. Brendan, does attention identify the stakeholders on your calls and create them as contacts, plus associate them to the op in Salesforce as part of the CRM enrichment?
That is an amazing transition, actually. So absolutely, we can capture the all the different speakers and then push that data into our friends at Clay, who will enrich that data and then create the lead for you, right? Um, but absolutely, right. Let's say you have 10 different people in a call, only, you know, two of them exist in your CRM. We can capture the eight other ones, push them into a clay table that will actually create the lead. Um, that's the first thing. The second thing is, let's say there are a few people that were getting mentioned in the conversation, right, as economic buyers or potential, you know, champions. You may want to also capture those names that are getting said in the conversations and getting pushed to a clay table that will enrich it perfectly based on all the data that they're able to capture with their fantastic tool and create the leads straight out of it.
Question
And the
from
tech will integrate into clay. Yeah.
question about languages and is it usable in the DACH region in German language?
Yeah. We work with a lot of clients in all different languages. Aircall, for example, uses us in 5 or 6 different languages, including German.
Anna, automated CRM data entry. This is only with Salesforce. Do you work with other CRMs?
Yeah, if you go to attention.com, the integrations pages, you'll see all we have 200 plus integrations. We'll integrate with Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, High Level, any CRM that you see in that page.
Cool. Thank you so much, Anise. This was a treat. Any
This-
closing thoughts?
No, I love having these conversations with you as always, and thank you so much for having me.